just the start of ours. 12th of March, cars today, Rover 3500 V8, the Mrs. Selwood. Weather, rain. Note, mannered Wednesdays. It's true that we do have quiet days at the Snowdonia Oasis. There are 3 reasons for this. Reason one, no one knows where Mannered is. There's so much to see and do in Mannered. It should have been a massive sign like for the ones for London or Blackpool. Sadly, there's no sign at all. Not even on the A496, close to where the town is conveniently situated. There used to be a sign on the grass verge, just after the sign for Diggermania. That's a theme park in Harlech, where you ride around on diggers. But an egg van backed into it and knocked it over, and no one's ever fixed it. The council says a new sign is not a funding priority. Dad gets cross about this, about once a week. He says that the lack of a sign robs him of potential passing trade. Reason 2? To be honest, though we wouldn't get passing trade because you can't pass our garage, the Blaino Road, the B5565, ends just behind the car park. The Snowdonia Oasis Auto Marvel is literally the end of the road. Unless you open the gate, then there's the mountain road. But that's not really a road, just a track they used to use to bring down the slate from the quarry at the top. The gate is there to stop Mr. Morgan's sheep wandering off down the mountain and onto the high street. It's part of my job to keep the gate shut, or, if it's left open, to chase the sheep back. If the sheep don't want to be chased, I open a packet of quavers. Sheep will follow you anywhere if you're carrying an open packet of quavers. Try it. Mr. Morgan is a customer, so sheep chasing is customer relations. Reason 3, the Mrs. Selwood. The Mrs. Selwood live on a farm halfway up Mannered Mountain. Miss Elsa can drive but she can't see. Miss Edna can see but she can't drive. So what they do is every Wednesday Miss Elsa drives and Miss Edna steers. It's not so risky on the mountain road because no one lives up there apart from them and Mr. Morgan's sheep. But when they hit the high street, they are a menace to society. Some car names are annoyingly random. The Fiat Cappuccino, for instance, is not really a cup of coffee. The Beetle is not an insect, and the Rover's not a dog. But the Rover 3500 V8 really does have a great big V8 engine, the kind they use in small aeroplanes. You could really hurt someone with it. So everyone in Mannered stays off the road on Wednesdays until the Selwoods have been and gone. They have to come through the garage to get into town to get to their shopping and have their hair turned into this random shade of blue in curl up and dye the hairdressers on Mannered Road. The Selwoods had a great big bunch of plastic daffodils, blue tacked to the top of the dashboard. It had been there since St David's Day, and it was getting a bit dusty by now. Because they only drive about 4 miles a week, they stop for actual petrol only about once a year. But as soon as they appear on the forecourt, Mam rings Mrs. Porty to let everyone know that they're on their way down. On good Wednesdays they come down early, and everyone can get back to normal. On bad Wednesdays they come down late, which means no one comes into the garage all day. But even on a bad Wednesday, there's always plenty to talk about. For instance, ever since the robbery, Minnie was immensely fascinated by Tom's life of crime. She was always saying stuff like, "When did you first decide on a life of crime?" "Well, I didn't really decide. I didn't want to be a criminal. I wanted a career in catering, but the only catering job in Mannered is the one at Mr. Chips, and for some reason they gave that to this red-headed girl who probably doesn't even like chips. Or, why is she so thin?" So Tom wasn't really a criminal, he was just frustrated. "I see," said Minnie. "And what attracted you to robbing garages? Why not banks, say, or jewellers?" "Well, you'd need a getaway car for something like that, see, and I've only got a bike." "You know where you went wrong?" "I went wrong," said Tom, "when I tried to do a robbery. It's the wrong idea. I should never even have had that idea." "You didn't think it through," said Minnie. "For instance, that bike. Everyone knows it's your bike. Everyone knows that's your balaclava. Everyone knows you. Next time you do a robbery, do it in Blaino or Harlech, somewhere no one will recognise you." "There isn't going to be a next time because now I'm totally reformed, thanks to your dad. I'm completely happy here." "If you thought it through, you might have got away with it." "I don't want to get away with it. I don't want to do a robbery. I told you, I'm happy." "Come on, everyone has a dream." A faraway look came into Tom's eyes. "You know, I've got these super articulated models of the turtles. Well, apparently they made one of Splinter too. Only you never see them in shops. They're only available as Japanese imports." "Maybe you could steal one of them," said Minnie. No, thank you, said Tom. I might look on eBay. Your trouble, said Minnie, is that you give up far too easily.